Hey guys, I'm Cesar Santos. After so many requests to show my sketchbook, I want to go back and keep flipping through the pages of the same sketchbook. I want to keep it in order, and this sketchbook is pretty much full, and it's the one I was showing last time. Actually, the last page I showed on my previous video about sketchbooks was this piece right here. So let me just go into details and keep talking about why I do sketchbooks and the importance of it to keep your art fresh and to keep it experimental. You keep your brain trying new things with this sketchbook. So I think it's very important for every artist to develop the habit of keeping a sketchbook with you. That way you can travel with it and take it to museums, compare, take notes, any poems, any thoughts, write it down. It will be valuable and you will appreciate it. When you start working on a painting, you have to think more like a production, you know? You get the size of the canvas, you prepare the canvas, then you start composing it, thinking about the placement, and all that takes away the freshness, the quickness, the not being afraid to try new things. And that's why sketchbooks are so good, because you develop a habit to just expose yourself with no fear of failing or anything, because nobody will see it. Well, actually I will show you, but I will show you that too. I will show you my mistakes, my thinking process when I work with sketchbooks. So I think it's very healthy for the health of an artist to keep a sketchbook. Okay, I'm just gonna start by the following page, which is it's a copy I have of a bureau I did at the Metropolitan Museum while it was hanging there during a temporary exhibition. It's very interesting how he composed the value arrangement for all the figures that he painted there. And this painting, I couldn't get it to actually be as light as the original in the setting, but at least I went through the experience of trying it. And here you see some of the notes I wrote when I went to visit, because the way I do it is that I take it to the museum and I compare it with the real painting. If I need a higher value, if I need a different chroma hue, I would write it down and try to change it while I'm painting in the studio. The last year I was flying to Sevilla to give the workshops, and this young lady was sitting next to me on the plane. I see every opportunity that I get to have the sketchbook available. If I didn't have a sketchbook, I wouldn't be able to draw in that particular moment and record it. Maybe I could do it in a napkin or something, but it's not the same having it forever to refer to it or think about it and remember stuff. So right next to it, I have a copy of Rembrandt. For this, I prepared the page with gesso. Then I put a dark underpainting. Some of these browns that you see around was the foundation of this to do this copy. And then I decided to do the underpainting with a lot of texture. See the glare showing some of the texture underneath. And I wanted to see if I could solve the problem even close to the way Rembrandt did it, to solve the problem of adding a lot of texture with the refinement of the colors on top. If you see, the general color of the flesh is broken by some pinker areas, some cool areas, and that's what I learned with this copy. In 2013, as soon as I got my house and the studio, wanted to just record that moment. I love the almond tree I had in the backyard, so I decided to sketch it real quick, and that's what we have here in this page. Nothing else than just a memory. You don't have to copy leaf by leaf to give the effect of movement, of this feeling of soft material on top of this more straight, strong element, which is the bark, the trunk of the tree. And sometimes you have to represent that movement by just the masses of value, the zigzagging, the circular motions of the type of leaf the tree has. So it's very important once you paint trees to kind of follow the mood of the tree, the movement of the tree, instead of just copying realistically the shapes and values. This is a copy of a bouguereau. It's not very successful, but at least I learned. I wanted to try adding some of the cooler tones on the flesh, and you can see here some of the browns that I mix for the painting. Sometimes it's not a success how you envision it, how I envision it, but it's fine, it's just exercises. On this side, I have a portrait of my mother-in-law, and I love this piece because I saw her as a very deep person, very strong human being. So I love her hand, like kind of gently touching towards her neck, her chest, and I think that gives her a different dimension. On this page are some notes I took while I was at the Metropolitan Museum studying, and I wrote something here that I think I want to share with you. The values are so grouped when I saw the paintings that when I was squinting, the picture became a very simple light, mid-tone, and dark composition. This is important because sometimes we fall into the idea of looking at details of the theme of the painting and we forget to see it in an abstract way. And these notes are telling me that this is the biggest lesson that day I learned at the Metropolitan, which is simplify the whole scene into simple elements. For instance, even in here, if you squint, there is the light of the flesh. The background has to be similar to all the darks around it. So when you see it, you see all the stuff going on, but in a very organized way. I attended an art talk at the MoCA, Museum of Contemporary Art here in Miami, and I took some notes, and I think something came up to my mind, and I want to read to you a little piece that I put here. Even though I can personally appreciate the work by artists like Van Gogh, Gauguin, Picasso, and the more contemporary artists like Damien Hirst, Rothko, Pollock, etc., I don't feel that artistic envy that I would feel, or I would be more conscious of it when I'm looking at art of the masters. Some of the masters of the past is what makes me be better. It's because I love that. And as an artist, you have to realize what you love and look for those things to add it to your career. So I would like to be able to do stuff that I see some of the masters of the past doing. Even though I appreciate some of the most contemporary artists, I don't feel that I need to be like them more literally. It's more of what I'm attracted to. I think it's important to realize that you always see someone that you like for some reason. You have some relationship to their temperament. You relate to what they are painting about, what they are saying, what they're communicating in the work, and you feel that attachment to the artist. And I think that is important to realize if you're sensitive to a type of art that you want to be like. Not to copy it, not to mimic it, okay? But to be inspired by that artist, that type of art. And that's what I mean when I say I am inspired by the contemporary artist, but I don't feel that artistic envy. I don't feel that I need to be like Picasso. Picasso is fine. I appreciate his movement, his placement in the art world and his influence, and I'm glad that we have someone like Picasso, but I don't want to be painting like Picasso. And that's something I feel with the masters of the past. Not one in particular, but there's a bunch of masters that I say, man, how did he see that scene? What did he look at while he was painting that scene that he interpreted in those terms with values, color, arrangement, composition? That's something I want to be able to do, and that's what I mean by this writing. So these notes are important to think about even your own work. Here is a sketch of my wife's sister. I did this while I was in New York. I think it was at the subway. Again, trying new ways of reducing the head into planes. You can see it's a lot of practice. Here I'm talking about how the eye develops, how the form is a round form with an axis. So when it turns and you blink, it's a more mechanical process that you can identify. And the moment you see it with a seeder, with a model, you can identify it, simplify it, and make it work, make it believable. This sketch here, I just wrote here, the eyebrow starts and goes into the forehead. It's interesting to see how the eyebrow starts inside the eye socket in the middle part, and then as it goes out, it wraps around and goes over on top of the eyebrow. That's why it's lighter on this area and it catches the light. So just because it's the same type of texture hair on the eyebrows doesn't mean that it's gonna keep the same value and color. And again, more sketches, more studying. This will make a strong foundation for you to begin a painting. You will develop a system that will help you arrange and control the elements in a way that will make you find the likeness of the sitter rather quick. You'll see the influence by Andrew Loomis and George Bridgman. Their system I use and apply all the time while I'm starting a work. Repetition is the key to learning how to develop a system of work. And when you want to start a drawing, you want to be solid in the foundation of it. And that's why you have to repeat that system to make it work at the end. If you every time you start working, you start in a new way and you're uncertain of what is leading you, you'll be confused. It's better if you develop a solid track so you can start a painting and be focused on bigger ideas rather than struggling with how to make the proportions work. Let's stop flipping out. It's enough for today. Remember to subscribe to my channel, to check out my videos. And if you want to see me going over the whole process, step by step, from drawing to the final layers of glazing, toning, making accents, the whole process of portraiture, you can check out my video. It's called Secrets of Portrait Painting, and I reveal everything I know about portraiture, and you will see me doing it as I talk. It's almost 20 hours of instructions. Let's wrap this video up. Flipping through the pages is all I have to do to show you all the hard work, so at least you have a clue. Cut!